hugged for 52 seconds straight. Or should I say 52 seconds gay? Today, I'm gonna be watching the Amazing Digital Circus finale. This is gonna be the third time I'm watching this movie. I saw it for the first time in theaters. I saw it for the second time at an Amazing Digital Circus drag show watch party in New York today that I went to with my girlfriend. She was dressed as Gangle. I'm dressed as Zubul. You can see my cosplay over here. Yay! And look at the pants. This is not a reaction video. This is an explanation video. So if you haven't seen it already, please go watch the finale first on Glitch's YouTube channel and then come back and watch this so you don't get any spoilers. The Amazing Digital Circus finale spoiler warning. These look like Kane's eyes in the intro.
Are we all just supposed to forgive this? This guy messed up in the worst possible way he could. He gets to mess up like this and everyone takes his side?
In the beginning of this episode, we find out that Jax has trauma with their mom and their dad. Jax isn't as forgiving of Kinger as everyone else in the group is. And part of this could be due to the dynamic between Jax and Jax's parents. The way Jax grew up, it was like, if you make a mistake, someone's going to antagonize you over it. There isn't as much empathy that's going to be shown towards you. Oh, I should also clarify, none of this is me excusing bad behavior. This is me explaining the character's behavior, their motives, and why they're acting as they do.
Brain scans. Scratch was trying to make a brain scanner.
Here it is essentially revealed that in the real world, they were real people, right? So let's say I am one of the people. I put on this headset and they scan a copy of my brain. So they have my personality, who I am, my thoughts, my thinking patterns, and then they take that read and then they upload it into this program. So this is now a separate entity from me. It's not me, it's a copy of me. It's a clone of me that exists solely within this universe. Meaning there is no way to escape this.
We didn't know how to work with the files, and they were impossibly small. I saw a folder full of them when I was in Kane's code, so I guess Kane found a way to get them working.
This happens a little bit out of chronological order, so you are going to see me jump around. In the beginning, this was Kane. You give Kane inputs, and then Kane makes stuff. This was the sequence that we saw back in episode 8 that they then showed us again in episode 9. We go through the sequence of creating the little shapes and stuff like that and doing these inputs in order to then reach the files. This is very symbolic of going through multiple coding prompts until you get the right one to get the solution that you're looking for. With each coding prompt, Kane was able to get closer and closer to getting to those files. And then we noticed that Kane is physically blocked out from being able to access the files. I imagine this as the visualization of a firewall. You can't bypass it because this is like the security we put in place in order to protect this highly sensitive information, which is people's literal brain scans. What's interesting is that as Kane is bypassing the security protocols, Kane becomes more personified. The way that he originally breaks through is that we see like a physical hand. I imagine like, you know, when you're like on a website and they're like, oh, are you actually a human? Type in this sequence or select all of the correct cars on the screen right now. I'm imagining that as what Kane is trying to bypass. We see the CA neural scans obsolete. So it was like a folder that they were just gonna forget about and toss out. Kane accesses the files and Kane finds 10 neural scans within this program. Or maybe they're not all shown, but there is at least 10 here. He's then able to tap into the code of their neural scans. And that's how we find out that he's able to then make them.
That means...
What does that mean? They are not real. They can't go back to the real world.
I think I've always known.
This is the realization of the characters that they are stuck here.
Still hurts so much to hear it.
And I think that's really valid. It's a crumbling reality. You come into this world, it's almost kind of like an afterlife.
I know it hurts.
And who was the first person to go to Ragatha to comfort her? Pomni.
We still have each other.
Do you see how Pomni is looking at Ragatha and comforting Ragatha and how Jax is kind of on the opposite side and looking away? This is the point where Jax realized there is no going back. And this is also the point where we are going to then see the true disconnect between Jax and the rest of the cast. We saw it with that confrontation with Kinger and how Jax couldn't be empathetic towards Kinger, but now it's truly over because now Jax knows that this is all real. There's no going back. Every person that you hurt through this whole thing, it was all real. And you see how Gangle grabs Zubul's hand? That's all I'm gonna say. People process grief in many different ways. They're grieving the life that they essentially lost. In the group, Pomni is the glue that holds everyone together. You can see it in the way that she reached out to Ragatha, and you can see it in the way that she sees everyone literally going in their own separate ways.
Need any help?
Sure, if you want to give it a try.
Just as Kane, they all have the ability to create things within the circus as well. It's cool how Kinger found out how to do it first. It makes sense. He's the one who's the most technologically advanced. While they all think that Kane is gone, Pomni and Kinger are quite literally picking up the pieces. They are putting this whole thing back together. With Pomni, both in terms of like the relationships where she's trying to get everyone to come together and be there for everyone, but also now she's physically doing that with the environment as well with Kinger.
I really wanted to help.
You had a good start.
I thought I could uplift everyone, but everything's gotten so bad.
When you try to be the one that's there for everyone, who is there for you? Pomni going to Kinger, it starts off as, how can I help? How can I fix everything? But then it slowly becomes, wait, I need help. This was Pomni's acceptance that she needs help and that she can't do this alone. She needs people to be there for her too.
We can't fix every problem. Not with ourselves, not with the world around us, but we can still do what we can.
That's the reality with dealing with uncertainty. There's a lot that happens outside of your control, but it's important to think about what actions you can take. How can you be there for the people around you and rely on each other and support each other? Kinger says eventually the others will come around. Who was the first one to come over after Pomni? Ragatha. I'm gonna point out all the Ragapom, Zubul Gangle, Jax being trans allegories. I'm gonna any all Jax's pronouns. I'm gonna use some he, they, she. Then Zubul comes over alongside Gangle at the same time. And it's very dark right here, but do you know who we see on the left side of the screen in the shadows? Jax.
Never mind.
Throughout the series, Pomni and the other characters, they always would try to go and comfort Jax. And Jax, in the end, made that decision that I'm not gonna open up to them.
I wish I'd pried a little more. I somehow forgot how bad it can get.
Abstraction is kind of like a metaphor for both mental health and death. In the beginning, death is realizing I'm in the circus, I'm in this new life. So it's like being reborn as the person you were. And then abstraction is the death that comes after. You are a neural scan, a file within a digital system. It's kind of like a virus or a corruption of that file. It's the end of the life form that you once were to now be something else. The first step of getting help is accepting the fact that you need help. And because Jax could never do that, going through something so severe, this is just what finally pushed him off the edge. His downfall was not being able to accept that he needed help, who he really was, and being comfortable enough in his own skin to be able to confide in others. And who did Zubul sit next to?
Of course he'd do this. Of course he'd wait until there's nothing we could do about it.
I'm sorry.
Hey, this isn't your fault.
Grieving your friend. Through Zubul, we see frustration. Through Gangle, we see a representation of guilt.
Why can't I cry for him?
Jax was not giving friend to Gangle. Jax was giving bully, unfortunately. And so I kind of don't blame her for not being able to cry. The loss of Jax is sad. Someone has passed away. We're grieving. But it's also, for Gangle, freedom. The end of all the pain that another person was putting you through.
I suppose we should try coming up with a plan to keep him contained.
And notice who is the one that is taking responsibility.
I always thought it should have been me.
She's very anxious. She wants people to like her. She's constantly walking on eggshells. She's very much trying to be a people pleaser. And through that, it can be hard to keep yourself together.
But something happened between him and her, Ribbit.
Ragatha's been keeping this in for a very long time because it's what Jax wanted.
I tried to comfort him. He told me to never mention Ribbit's name again.
That's not fair to Ragatha. Jax deals with things through denial and avoidance, but this constant running away from the truth, it has a real impact on the people around you. All of these people, including Ragatha, they also lost a friend, but they couldn't fully process that loss.
I think that's where our friendship finally ended.
Jax cares more about how they feel about the situation than how you feel about this.
It was so hard for me. I still don't know why I did it. I just wanted him to know he wasn't alone.
Sadly, that's an issue with being anxiously attached, putting other people's emotions above your own.
And I guess I just didn't want to lose any more friends.
Abandonment. When I say anxiously attached, I'm alluding to feeling like all these people are going to leave you.
Ragatha,
I know she's comforting her, but that's a handhold.
you were the first real friend I made here.
I know what y'all gonna say. She just said friend. It's giving bestie. Listen. And what if I said friends to lovers? What then? What then?
And despite all that's happened, I still consider you my closest friend.
I know what y'all are thinking. She just said friend twice in the same statement. And I know I'm losing some of you, but let's emphasize the word closest friend. Not just a regular friend, closest friend. Which means what? There's a deeper level of emotional connection there. It's a deeper relationship than just a regular friend. Let's continue.
I'm glad we're still friends.
Y'all are laughing. Okay, that was the third time that they said the word friends in how many seconds? Let's get the time check. They have said the word friend 3 times within 14 seconds. Some people might say here is giving bestie. But hear me out. The first friend is friend. The second friend is closest friend. The third friend is said by Ragatha and is interrupted by a hug. It's giving overcompensating. Ragapalm strong. This hug starts out at 10:51. I see the Ragapalm deniers, so let's talk. Well, she's just comforting her. They're going through it. Okay, but explain this. 10:51. A 360 hug spin.
Mommy.
The hug ended at 11:43. They hugged for 52 seconds straight. Or should I say 52 seconds gay?
You've been one of the best things to happen to me since I got here.
And that's the first thing you say after breaking from a 52-second hug with your friend? The eye contact? This is next. Let's see how long they look at each other. Multiple angles, by the way. They just broke eye contact. 17 seconds of eye contact after the conversation ended while you are walking in opposite directions. And what's the verdict? You're not doing this with your friend. It's giving, I was just thinking about kissing you. Mind you, after 52 seconds of hugging. Because the darkness is what calms them down. What does Jax's mind look like? In your mind, there's all these corners where you bury all this information. But for Jax, even more so. We see this through the representation of the doors. Jax would grieve Ragatha. This would actually hurt him. That was one of the people you knew the longest. And someone who, despite how horribly you treated her, she was keeping your secret.
I just want you to know, if you need anything or if you need to talk to anybody, I'm here for you. I'm the only person who can help you.
No, you are not the only person who can help Jax.
You need me. I can fix you.
Hell no, man.
You can't fix other people. If they want to change, that change has to come from within. And that is the reality with Jax. If you don't want to change, if you want to stay the same, no matter how bad it is for you and how much you're hurting the people around you, you're not going to change. Which immediately results in him trying to push her away, him trying to hurt her. We can see the toxic dynamic. It's not good.
We can't die from oxygen deprivation, remember?
This is them really showing us just how toxic this mindset is of pushing people and literally hurting them to push them away from you. The other piece is Jax sees himself as a violent monster.
Why are you wearing that?
I figured what better way to honor Zubal's spirit than by wearing something all gender freaky, right?
You're just doing it to make fun of them.
But what's interesting here is the active choice to dress this way, to do your makeup this way. And here's where we're gonna get to trans Jax. You like wearing the maid costume. You like presenting in this way. You're saying I'm making fun of Zubul, but do you want to be like Zubul? Zubul is non-binary, and that's represented through the removable parts, a visual, physical representation of what it can be like to be non-binary. It kind of is something that is more fluid, not as rigid as box A, box B. It exists outside of that. It exists outside the binary, hence non-binary. In the way that Zubul has been able to figure themselves out more and move forward within their journey with gender and discovering who they are, Jax doesn't really do that. Just like the way Jax handles all the other problems in their life, this piece, which is, am I trans femme? Am I a trans woman? Am I non-binary? Am I gender fluid? This is not something that Jax is able to really explore seriously because, once again, Jax denies themselves and they bury things deeper and they push people away. Just like the way that they treat their relationships with the people around them, it's also how they treat their gender. Despite that, there is a desire to be femme. There is a desire to wear a maid outfit. There is a desire to do your eyeliner. If this is a version of you in your mind, part of this is how you see yourself.
I hate you.
Because this is how Jax is seeing Gangle in their head. We know that Gangle doesn't really hate Jax, but Jax probably sees everyone as hating them. Yes, Gangle couldn't really cry for you. Gangle still felt guilt. Gangle wanted to be there for you. So that means that the real Gangle doesn't hate you. But in your mind, you think because I push all these people away and I treat them as badly as I do, I'm successful and good at making everyone hate me because everyone hates me. But they don't. That's just what Jax believes that these other characters feel.
What? Don't act like you don't like it, sweet cheek.
This is wild because it kind of adds a new layer into the constant bullying of Gangle. Once again, I'm not excusing Jax's actions. I'm explaining them. This is bad. This is toxic. In your mind, you are flirting with Gangle. Jax likes Gangle. That's what this is revealing. Don't treat people you like that. What? In Jax's case, in order to stop this from potentially becoming a thing or potentially becoming closer to Gangle, what does Jax do? Drive people away because you can't come to terms with the reality of those feelings. But, you know, the thing about suppressing things and keeping them buried is that sometimes they do come out, and they come out in the form of jokes that aren't really jokes. I'm only wearing this dress and eyeliner to make fun of Zubul. Zubul's not alive anymore. You're doing this because you want to do this. Haha, I'm flirting with Gangle because I'm being mean. No, you're flirting with Gangle because you're into Gangle.
Meet me in my room after the funeral. Don't be late.
This is where you know Jax is for real, for real. What do you mean by that? We know what you mean by that. Once again, this is all happening inside of Jax's mind. So this is also saying if Zubul was out the picture, I would shoot my shot.
You killed the only person I've ever loved.
What I really like in this scene, this is where out loud they say Zubul times Gangle. But let's dig deeper here. If Gangle is out the picture, Jax knows there's only one person to blame. It's Jax. Who was the one that was tirelessly bullying Gangle? Jax. But it also shows Zubul as Jax's direct opponent in Jax's mind. Zubul is the one who is far more comfortable in their gender and gender identity than Jax is, and also far more comfortable in accepting their feelings and who they love than Jax is. Zubul likes Gangle and makes it pretty clear and is very nice to them and treats them very well. It says episode 9. So there's specifically a series within Looney Tunes between a roadrunner and a coyote, and they have this similar back and forth dynamic of constantly having to outsmart each other, and that is also a reference to that. I love that little yikes sign. It's such such a cute detail. This is how Jax sees themselves. Starting on the right, haha, I'm just the funny guy that no one is supposed to take seriously. Everything's a joke. 2, I'm a monster. I hurt people. I am terrible. I'm an awful person. I push everyone away and I hurt everyone in my life. Next is trans. I got something going on with my gender expression, my gender identity. I have something that I am suppressing. If it was just a joke and it didn't matter that much, you wouldn't be in this maid costume in your own head. Because what's the point? They were in here before Pomni got in here. So that means this is the you inside of you. The you that when no one is watching, the you that is there. And then finally, the past self. The one that was never able to process that trauma. And those chains, what's interesting is that they're kind of like invisible chains. They're chains that are placed there by Jax. You are doing this to yourself. And Jax realizes that.
We have a strict no girls allowed policy.
Why do you have a no girls allowed policy? Is there something you don't feel comfortable talking about? This repeated pattern can kind of start reading out as misogyny. Let's be honest, it kind of is. Think about the people that Jax antagonizes. For the most part, Gangle, Ragatha, Pomni, tends to be women. It is giving misogyny. But on a deeper level, if we go down the trans femme allegory, it's a different kind of misogyny. It's internalized misogyny. You don't hate women, you hate the woman within you.
Why are you wearing that?
And now it's even Jax asking themselves, why am I still wearing that? You are making this active choice to wear this and present this way.
I wouldn't be caught dead wearing that.
Yet again, the denial of self.
I'm wearing it ironically. That way it shows truly just how little I care.
It ends up doing the opposite because what it ends up showing is just how much you care. Is a slur that is used against what community? And you know, why are you calling yourself that? Internalized homophobia, internalized transphobia.
I can play the piano. If you have to say you can play the piano, it makes it seem like you can't actually play. Yeah, just shut up and play.
The true self, the self that has constantly been silenced, the self that has been hurt, the self that has to act like everything is okay and be funny and be entertaining, which is shown through playing the piano. This is now Jax accepting Pomni, literally letting her in. This is after Jax injured their mom. Jax ends up in a car and is now on the run. I see this scene as like the representation of Jax being homeless at this point. Waking up and realizing that you're in the digital circus and the people that you got to know at the start were Kaufmo, Ribbit, Ragatha, and Kinger. There's a delicious hot sandwich, another hot sandwich, another sandwich, hot chocolate, a chocolate eclair, and a chocolate bread.
Oh, he laughed. Ah, yes, we did it.
That was the first time that Jax laughed since being in this simulation. Building friendships, getting closer to people, and starting to put the past in the past. In the back, Ragatha's on the building. She's gonna corrupt you is a wild statement. When I saw this, I was like, where is this going? I think what's interesting about this scene is that because it takes place in Ribbit's room, that is also a physical showing of, I'm going to let you into my space and I'm going to let you see a new part of me.
I cut ties with my parents when I moved out. They were devout Mormons, and I wasn't. Despite that, I still wish I could see them again.
Between Ragatha, Ribbit, and Jax, Ribbit also had a difficult relationship with their parents. The way that it has left them, it has made them more empathetic, made them more willing to open up to people and be there for them out of this compassion and understanding that she wishes that maybe her parents would have had for her when she decided to not follow the same religion that they follow. For Ragatha, she had a very difficult relationship with her mom. It came out as people pleasing and being very anxiously attached, constantly prioritizing their feelings and them over your own sake because you're like, I want them to be there for me in ways that maybe her mom was never really there for her.
Is this your way of trying to get me to open up?
With Jax's difficult relationship with their parents, the way that it has ended up coming out is becoming defensive and thinking that people are trying to hurt you constantly. Because in Jax's experience, their parents were always trying to get one up on him. Because this is kind of what Jax got used to. Jax assumes that everyone in all of their actions has some kind of bad intent behind it.
It's kind of a lot.
You're kind of a lot, but I still like you.
Yeah?
While Jax sees himself as unlovable, as no one will like me for my flaws and who I am, there are people out there that will accept you for you and love you for you, even if you don't want to accept and love yourself.
I had a weird relationship with my parents. I was never close with my dad. He never seemed proud of me.
Jax was never enough.
I always felt like a disappointment to him. Like I could never live up to his standards.
It's why Jax was so mad towards Kinger. Jax was starting to hold others to that impossible standard, a standard that doesn't allow people to make mistakes, which is not okay. And on a deeper level too, not getting along with your dad because you could never meet his standards, that could also be added to the trans allegory. I was never man enough for my dad and I was a disappointment. Could that possibly be because your dad saw your queer identity inside?
After he was gone, she changed. When I showed weakness, I was less of a man than him.
This idea of never being able to show weakness, one, that's unfair and an impossible standard. Two, we're going to add that to the trans allegory here. This is probably also Jax confronting the fact that even their parents were realizing that gender-wise, they could kind of see through.
Out, I was just as bad as him. It was confusing.
And it's really sad. Through the divorce, Jax lost the relationship with their parents. Obviously, with that, I do feel for Jax, but in the same way that the other characters around Jax have also gone through very difficult things, you can't let the cycle of abuse continue. You can't keep being mean to others and hurting others in the same way that people have hurt you.
I was just kind of fed up with it. I told her something I regret telling her. Something deep and personal that I thought would get her off my back.
If you didn't catch it, this is where Jax comes out to her mom. Jax's mom was afraid of Jax becoming like his dad. I could imagine Jax saying something like, actually, I'm nothing like dad because I'm not even a man. The way Jax goes to explain the mom's reaction and how this was something that was deep and personal to her, it's giving coming out scene.
Then she went off on me. The thing that bothered me most was at the end of all of it, she hugged me.
The hug is the manipulation that is also part of the reason why Jax sees any kind of comfort and love as a sign of this person is manipulating me. And this is why Jax pushes away all these people that genuinely like them, that treat them well, that love them.
I pushed her off me with all the force I could. She fell backwards.
So what happened to Jax's mom in the end? At the end of the episode, when we see what happened to Jax and Jax in real life, Jax in real life is not in jail. So if Jax isn't in jail in real life, the mom is still alive. Once again, Jax ran away from their problems. They avoided them. And because of that, they were never able to learn the truth. And they were never able to gain closure.
If the police never came after you, then she was probably fine.
Exactly. This is so important. Here Jax is letting Ribbit know their true self, their past, opening up about everything. In that moment, what the response is, I see you. You didn't have to say it, but after knowing you and getting to know you, I see you. And not only do I see you, but I accept you and I'm here for you. And that is the symbolism of the bow. And this bow scene right here, this is where trans femme Jax really comes through.
Your secret's safe with me.
And this is a layered statement. It's not just the parent thing. It's the other secret with the gender. It's, don't worry, I got you. 7 seconds of just staring into each other's eyes. And we can acknowledge that Jax and Ribbit like each other, right? So now remember when I went in the beginning of this episode and I was saying Agatha and Pomni? And how long were they holding eye contact for? 17 seconds. The layers here. That throwing away of the bow is that rejection of self.
I mean, now's not a good time.
Not only that rejection of self, but that rejection of Ribbit. Reality comes crashing back in when talking to a man. Because now it's, I need to perform this other gender and this other dynamic here.
You know none of that was real, right? What, that corny backstory out of a Hallmark movie?
Denial and trying to bury the truth by pretending it was a joke.
I'm gonna go.
avoidance.
So you can pry into my personal life and hold it over my head?
Because that's what Jax is used to their parents doing.
Why are you still fixated on that night? Nothing happened!
That is projection. Jax is still fixated on that night. And that's why Jax is continuing to act this way. Ribbit is simply responding to Jax being fixated on that night.
You're the one using me! You're manipulating me!
Now Jax is victimizing themselves. Yikes.
If Ribbit ever says anything about me, just know it's not true.
What?
Now you're trying to get people to turn against Ribbit with you.
Hey, Ragatha, what was that movie you were talking about earlier?
Huh? Wait, when was I?
And only trying to get close to Ragatha so that you could push Ribbit away. And it was drinking that hot chocolate that then made Jax realize that's you thinking about Ribbit, because that's who introduced you to that. And then it was too late. And there's no one else to blame but yourself. From this point on, Jax then tries to pretend that this is all a game. This isn't real. This is just a dream. They end up living out the rest of this in this huge state of denial.
I know we don't get along, but I think I might have found a way out of here.
That was probably Kaufmo discovering what Pomni ended up discovering with the door and the computers.
Have fun being crazy!
And yet again, you drove away Kaufmo. And literally the last thing Jack said to Kaufmo was have fun going crazy. And so there's now more extreme guilt there because it quite literally is your fault, Jax.
You gonna cry looking like this?
And this is kind of like the angry, toxic voice that Jax grew up with through their parents. This is now what's coming out when she's looking at herself in the mirror.
I'd move on and probably forget about you.
If you got abstracted, I'd forget about you. No, you wouldn't, because Jax still remembers Snowy Summit. I was talking to someone about this scene today at the watch party, and the light that we see here is pink. This person was like, this is kind of reminiscent of the movie I Saw the TV Glow. In the darkness of your mind, the light is pink, representative of your true self, the part that's buried deep inside you. What is it giving? Trans allegory. Jax is falling deeper and deeper, losing themselves more and more.
You know everything now, so why are you here?
Abandonment. In the way that Jax felt abandoned by her dad. The orange is interesting because the orange is like they think they should be in jail. That's what Jax looks like in real life with the hair. This is probably the coat when they ran away. This is also themselves and how they express themselves in the real world too. And Jax is afraid of hurting the people around her the same way that they hurt their mom.
You're making this so much harder.
The people in your life that love you want to be there for you, even through your hardest and darkest times.
You should have just talked to me, man.
It's too late.
This is a very interesting cautionary tale. If you don't accept your true self, if when you're struggling, you don't ask the people around you for help, it could consume you. Once again, going back to abstraction being a metaphor for death, Jax not being able to be their true self is what led them to abstract. And when Jax says it's too late, look at the light. It's pink. In this moment, it is too late for Jax. But it didn't have to be. And that's why this is a cautionary tale. For anyone who's not abstracted, for anyone who is still alive, you can still find your true self. You can still fight for that person. Fight for the true you.
I did this to myself.
That's a hard truth. And through everything, this is acceptance. From the character who has been in denial and pushing things deeper and deeper down this whole time, this is acceptance.
I hate you.
Boo. Stop rejecting the people around you. I will count how long this hug lasts to. Who initiated the hug? Pomni. It's like a final goodbye hug, but it's tied into the fact that y'all kind of had feelings for each other. Like, be for real, Jax. You know that Pomni reminds you of Ribbit. And you know, we know that this is like angsty and toxic and that it's not gonna work out like that. But you know, it's a complicated relationship dynamic and that's why we gotta talk through it. But there's definitely some feelings here. 3407. let's say the hug ended there. So from 3407 to 35, that was a 53-second hug. Okay, it's a final goodbye hug, so I'll give y'all that. It doesn't have to be romantic, but I'm gonna say it was multiple layers of emotions here. Final goodbye, acceptance, and a little bit of feelings mixed in. But this scene also feels very reminiscent of BoJack Horseman, where BoJack Horseman, spoiler warning, there is discussions around the loss of the life of yourself. You guys get what I'm trying to say without saying the word.
I don't want to go.
And that's the saddest part. In the end, Jax didn't want to abstract. Jax just wanted to go, to make things easier for everyone, to not be in the picture. But the reality is, like, all Jax needed in the end was to be able to accept themselves and go to the people around them for help. But they didn't realize that until it was too late. And so this is urging the audience, if you need help, go get it. Go talk to someone. Go talk to the people around you. Don't suppress it. And then from a gender expression perspective as well, if you see the TV glow, don't ignore it. You got to address the discomfort that you feel with yourself. Because at the end of the day, you can kind of run away from people, but you can't run away from yourself. And then with the sound design here, they really designed it to kind of sound like in a hospital when someone is flatlining. It is this song choice too, with art and with sound, right? Everything is intentional. What is the main lyric of this song? It's 3 words, baby. Isn't she lovely?
You weren't gonna try to take care of him all by yourself, were you?
We're all in this together.
At the beginning of the episode, we see Pomni is the one trying to pick up all the pieces and keeping everyone together. Now all of them, they are all there for Pomni. At the beginning of this episode, Gangle said, I just can't cry for him. But now at the end, it's finally hit that they are truly gone. It was probably through Pomni that Gangle got to learn more about the truth. It took him a while to build all that, so I think it was maybe learning more about Jax and being able to process it with everyone, that it's just like the grief. It didn't hit them right away because they were still frustrated and angry, but eventually it hit her. Who sees that Gangle is sad? The cutest thing to me is that here we can see Gangle's drawings. She draws all of them together. She draws Zubul and Pomni.
Having a lot of complex thoughts.
Wiping away her tears.
We're still human.
Something that was really difficult for Gangle was showing her happiness, showing her sadness, protecting her happiness, and showing her emotions. And then this is Zubul letting her know that it's okay to have all these emotions and it's okay to go through all these different feelings, because at the end of the day, it's just a normal part of being human. The handhold. The handhold. That hand on Pomni's shoulder.
Are you holding up?
Doesn't that hurt?
It physically hurts to have your hand on her shoulder.
I've been through worse.
And despite that, you still want to hold her shoulder? Look who's holding hands. Gangle and Zubul. Can I just say, I love that we got a double Yuri. We got a double Yuri. You know that never happens. That never happens, bro. Double Yuri. This is beautiful. Kinger's just like the father of all these people. I am here to be everyone's dad. Slay, Kinger. This reveal of Kane being there the whole time, just observing them, is so good. It does make me think though, like what actually happened with them deleting Kane? Was this him playing into it just to be able to see how they would act? Or did something bad happen to him and then he kind of put himself back together? Look, Bubble is here. Bubble is here.
Was I truly that bad?
What's interesting about Bubble being here is that this is while Kane still has the blue part inside of him. So when Kane was deleted, he was probably just brought further away from the digital circus. He taps into the internet and then he does research on their files. Abigail is from Missouri. Through the photo and the publicly posted data, this is how Kane is then able to let them know who they are. It's Kinger with the wife, Queenie, and the daughters. daughters while he can't see his daughters in real life. He's just now going to be a father figure to everyone in the Amazing Digital Circus. Exploring haunted, deserted shoemaking factory. Abby Adventures. So that was Pomni, because remember, she liked to explore creepy, scary things. Abby with the camera, she was a YouTuber. Zoe, Gangle up close with the ribbons and the bows. Who is Blue Brother? Someone explain this one to me. The blue one is Bubble, because what you'll notice is that in the end credits, Bubble is gone. We're not gonna see Bubble anymore. Once Blue is gone, we never see Bubble again. So Blue and Bubble were connected. And just like Bubble, it's like a blue circular ball.
I'll miss you. I really will.
Here's what's interesting to me. We just let the blue kind of evil one out there. Obviously, they have more power when they're together, but we did acknowledge that the blue one was pretty powerful on its own in episode 8 at the very beginning. So leaving the blue one to kind of just like explore on its own and do its own thing within the same digital universe is kind of a recipe for disaster. If there was anything that was really left inconclusive for me, it's this blue ball. To me, this is giving this thing could easily be evil and make a whole bunch of bad stuff within this space.
I still love you.
Kim was like, what do you mean by that?
I never programmed you to say you loved me.
I know.
See, you can be lovable and make mistakes and be imperfect, and there will still be people that love you because they like you for you and who you are. And it's okay to not be perfect. Even if you are literally a computer, it's okay. That's kind of like a representation of the characters being sick. To that level, abstraction can be fixed and reversed. When I did see Kane do this for Pomni, and then later when he starts going like, oh, do you guys need any help with that, while signaling towards Jax, it made me think like, wait, could Kane low-key find ways to unabstract them?
Wait a minute.
But now at the current power level he's at, there's nothing that he could do. But I think maybe if he was stronger, he maybe could have, but just didn't want to. Or it could be that once the file has been corrupted, there's nothing that you can do. Wait, that actually gives a new meaning to when Kaufmo tells Jax, oh, she's gonna corrupt you.
Wait a minute.
His file got corrupted because of how he felt about her. And you see how Zubul is defending Gangle? Zubul with a hand on the shoulder of Gangle. Oh, she dressed up as a ghost, right? Because she likes exploring haunted things.
And is hanging out with new friends more often. Even has some of them in her videos with her, which she still posts on occasion.
Wait, look, it's the same friend who was with her at Halloween.
Ragatha.
Look, it's the article. Let's start with the sale that got your name on last year's movers and shakers list, the Whittaker estate. That one was really just the right place at the right time. Oh, for sure. Well, I already knew a lot about them anyway, not to brag, but me and my girl, Daisy Bell, are pretty gosh darn good. So they do know me, but I don't think they knew I was a real estate agent. It's all good though. After that sale, I kept getting call after call. One time my phone ran out of battery at 11 a.m. You made some sales since then. That very well could outshine the Whittaker sale. How has your experience with that influenced the way you deal with clients? Listens and cares about their needs. Doesn't everyone? Is that the secret? It seems like such a simple lesson for everyone. Yes, I believe that 100%. You know, a lot of people out here have land that's been in the family for generations. So to them, a sale is not just a sale. It's like an heirloom that they pass on to someone who deserves it. It's really special to them, and they want to know that whoever takes care of it will love it as much as they do, in the same way that they do.
Susie J. Ackerman. She appears to have left her hometown, cut all communication with her mother, and has excelled in her career.
Competing in show jumping for years, so I just happened to run in those circles. And Henry Whittaker was basically like a mentor of mine in the sport. When he sadly passed on, his family wanted to sell the ranch and stables, but they wanted a buyer who would keep it as a ranch. They went through so many agents and developers who wanted to turn into a big box store or something like that. I was the only agent who could come up with a buyer that would take care of it. And you put it on the map for every ranch owner for miles around. I was such good friends with Henry and the Whittaker family. I wanted to do the most for them. I spent weeks relentlessly looking for buyers that fit their needs. Oh, buyer, actually, you only need one. And it made me realize that it's my friends that have gotten me this far, and it'll be my friends who help me go farther. Now, whenever I meet a new client, whether they know me or not, I always treat them like we've been friends for years. Property Plus says, what do you think other real estate professionals don't do very well? Susie says, I think there's too much focus on the dollar figure. If someone's offering $1 more than the competition, but they're just going to wreck the land, you wouldn't sell it to them. I just think sentimental value is still value, and so many people around here feel the same. That's so cute. Okay, so then this one's like an online article that was published. Holding the arm and looking at each other.
Gangle.
Oh, this is so cute. The art account. Author and illustrator of the manga-inspired webcomic Love to Go-Go. Hold on, guys. Do I see Yuri? Not only do you draw a webcomic, do you draw Yuri? In that bottom corner, that's giving GL.
Despite her injuries, she's made a good recovery in the hospital. She quit her fast food job.
Guys, look at that iPad. Love to Go-Go. Wait, is it a webcomic that's based on working at a fast food establishment and then the workers fall in love with each other and it's Yuri? It's slang. It's slang. Also, if you look at the year here, it says 2017. So it's 2017 in the show. Best birthday bomb at work. Thank you all so much.
Anne has gotten a new job at a small design firm.
Aw, that's so cute. Hiring. We're looking for a new junior designer who's proficient in After Effects and is keen to learning motion graphics. Some pages from the new chapter. Hands are hard. Do you guys see these characters? One has long curly hair and the other one has long straight hair. It's Yuri. Gangle is drawing a Yuri webcomic. Genuinely ate and slayed. At the bottom there, I know the text is covering it, but it says, that's one of many sketches for my main gal. Her profile picture is one of the main characters of her webcomic.
Zubul, Riley Vercellis.
In less than a year, Triangle's bar eclectic space has become the place to meet for people looking for refuge and community. When you pass the threshold into Triangle Bar, you notice that the rest of the world seems to melt away. Perhaps it's the combination of the quirky neon lighting, the chilled beats playing throughout, and the excited chatter rounding out the experience that lets you know that you're somewhere you can be yourself. When Triangle Bar opened almost a year ago, it was an unassuming sight. Triangle Bar's proprietor and head bartender, Riley, had envisioned the space as being first and foremost for local queer communities to be who they are. As Rasai, who is themselves non-binary, puts it, Triangle is a place you can go when there's nowhere else you can go. It's a promise they've kept up with as an ironclad principle. They provide a place to rest, drink, and mingle with others who are just like you. Feeling welcome and being welcoming are the only price of admission. Shout out to the animators and the writers for actually writing out this article.
People all over the city come to it as a hip alternative destination where they can feel like themselves, free of judgment.
Aww. Kinger is on social media because his daughters post him. Dad playing with VR. So this is 2017 Facebook.
Anne is still happily married to his wife, Destiny.
Oh, he's with his wife and with his daughters and living a happy life. That's so sad, bro. Like, this is how he finally gets to see his daughters and his wife again. Stop, that's hitting. I love the epic score that they include here. It's so good. I love when they make the music more dramatic. Also, hand on the shoulder. Sad movie night with sad loser.
Leroy Mateo. After being unhoused for a few months, he was able to room with one of his close friends.
Okay, see? So the police never came after Leroy.
He seems to have gotten a stable job and is able to pay rent.
Is the delivery person.
He and his friends go out every now and again.
See where they go? They go to the Triangle Bar. And what did I read in that article? Is first and foremost a queer bar. Guys. And Jax goes to the Triangle Bar.
Weirdly enough, a spot they seem to frequent is Riley's bar.
All I'm saying is, if you're going to an LGBTQ bar multiple times as a regular, chances are. So then that's Jax. A night to remember. Live, love, laugh. I love how they didn't just say live, laugh, love. Like, y'all are fine me. But anyway, look at the length of Jax's hair too. Jax is growing out their hair. Look, keep paying attention.
Maybe you've got more confidence than you thought.
Putting the hand on the shoulder again. The arm tap? Ragapalm arm tap. Thank you. Love this.
I'm just Pomni.
I love this realization of we're our own people. The people out there are separate from us, and we're just gonna enjoy the lives that we have here and have fun with each other. The mural of everyone who once lived here. They're playing D&D. Gangle is making another comic, except this time she's drawing all of them. Love that Ragatha now gets to play baseball in her dress. This is so her. Look at Pomni looking at Ragatha. And then this is the seal the deal for me for Ragapom. That look. He can go there and see Queenie. That's Kaufmo, Ribbit, and Jax. And they can use all their arms for the mixology. And then they show you just how vast this space is. And who's out there? The blue brother. Bubble. There is so much that they can continue to create and so many other worlds that they can continue to make. And there's stuff that Bubble could make out there as well. All the worlds are connected to each other. They have a beach day episode again. Kinger and Kane go fishing and they get the fish that looks really funny. Kane made a bubble cookie. No, if you look in the corner, they ate the fish NPC. Rockstar Ragatha. They're in the mines exploring and there's little skeleton creatures in the mines. They celebrate the holidays together and all their sweaters have the first letters of their names. And Kinger is Santa. This is giving the D&D, and remember, Gangle is the DM. What is happening in Zubal's room? Gangle's room being open, Zubal's door having hearts above it. And if you zoom in on Ragatha's face, she's actually smiling here. Canon, they sealed the deal and they confirmed it. Ragatha, Pomni, technically that one's up to your personal interpretation. We can all see it the way that we want to see it. Y'all know how I see it. You might have a different opinion and that's okay and that's valid, okay? My ending is double Yuri and Kinger is dad vibes and Kane is like younger brother. And look at all the characters. And notice Jax's hair is growing out. It's longer. And also, why did they sign up for this experiment? Is this an abandoned project? Does it no longer exist? That's kind of like a little door that they left open for us. What do you guys think? I think it's an experiment that they got paid for. I think it was like a little side job that like they got to do and sign up for as like an experiment. And they all live in the same town. Definitely Zubal and Jax know each other because Jax goes to the bar that Zubal owns. The rest of them, I don't know. I don't really know if they know each other like that. See, I don't know if this matters, but the number on the bus stop says 314 written on the glass. What is 314? The first three digits of pi, March 14th. Is there more to come? Or is it just that's random numbers that are scribbled? But why is that in the shot? Why is it in the shot? And also the bus. Y'all are taking a coach bus. Where are you guys going? I'm gonna just like dig through the comments and see what I find. Operation Avoid Spoilers for 2 weeks has been a success. Everyone talking about Jackson Rivet, but Kaufmo being revealed to having a normal office voice is the funniest part of this. The connection between Jax looking at his hand after pushing Pomni in episode 6 and Jax looking at his hand after he pushed his mom away was crazy. Yo, the similarities. Wait, Pomni honoring Jax by making the final fourth wall break of the series is something that makes me want to sob uncontrollably. Wait, breaking the fourth wall, and they broke the fourth wall 4 times, making it literally 4 walls. And before, it was always Jax doing that. I did not realize that. I'd also like to mention Pomni is seen trying to learn how to play the piano in the end credits of the band scene.
Wait a minute!
I didn't realize that! Someone says, I love how at the end, Kane is standing on the ground with others instead of floating above them. It's a small detail that really shows the progression of his character. So instead of seeing himself as above them, he's finally on their level. So this person says, the way it not only started with the first episode's introduction song, but also ended with the same dinner scene. Truly a full circle moment.
Wait a minute!
I didn't even realize that! Yo, this is why I love
love reading the comment section. And then this person says at the end is them reuniting in real life without even knowing, and it's so heartwarming. Aww, seeing Kane finally be part of the group made me sob. It made me so happy seeing how excited he was to be included. That's so cute. This person says, I don't know what I was expecting out of Kaufmo, but it's just really funny to me how he's just the normal dude. Very real and the most like down to earth chill voice ever too. This person says, I love how Pomni sitting at the dinner table at the end of episode 9 mirrors the final scene of episode 1. But what makes it even better is the shift in her expression. Ah, now you're finally happy with the state of things. That's so cute. This person says, the small detail of Ragatha having a horse named Daisy Bell really shows all the attention to detail they put in. I really enjoyed this episode. I have been wanting to talk about it since I first saw the movie. I truly love this show. It's just really so beautiful, and I'm so happy that we got it. I'm so happy for the representation that we got to see through this show. The Amazing Digital Circus will always hold a special little place in my heart. In the comment section, let me know your thoughts, theories, and opinions. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe so you can see more. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye!